I want you to imagine working somewhere that's completely still. No noise. No movement. No life. And then one night, something changes. Not all at once. Just enough for you to question your memory. That's what happened in tonight's story. And by the end of it, you might start questioning things too. You're listening to Dark Whispers. I've worked at a funeral home for almost 4 years. It's not as dramatic as people imagine. There's no constant horror. No dramatic lightning storms. No slamming doors. Most nights are quiet. Still. Heavy. The kind of quiet that presses against your ears. I work the evening shift at a small, family-owned funeral home just outside town. It's been around since the 1960s. Same building. Same preparation room. Same viewing chapel. Same basement. My job is simple. Assist with body transfers. Help with embalming prep. Clean the viewing rooms. Lock up at night. You get used to being around the dead. At least, I thought I did. The first time I noticed something was wrong, it was subtle. A man named Walter Green had been brought in after a heart attack. Late 70s. Thin. Long hands. Deep lines in his face like dried riverbeds. I helped move him onto the prep table. His arms rested at his sides. Palms facing inward. I remember that clearly. Because an hour later, when I came back with paperwork, his hands were folded neatly across his chest. Like someone had posed him. I froze in the doorway. I stood there long enough for the fluorescent lights to start buzzing louder in my ears. I walked closer. Maybe I misremembered. Maybe I placed them that way automatically. Muscle memory. But something about it felt deliberate. Too deliberate. I told my boss, Mr. Holloway. He's been a funeral director for over 30 years. Calm. Detached. Speaks softly even when he's annoyed. He didn't even look up from his desk. Bodies shift, he said. Muscle relaxation. Gravity. I nodded. That made sense. Until it happened again. 2 weeks later. A young woman this time. Car accident. Closed casket service scheduled for the weekend. When we brought her in, her head tilted slightly to the left. Jaw slack. Hair matted at the temple. I stepped out for less than 10 minutes. When I came back, her head was centered. Perfectly straight. Her mouth closed. Not stitched. Not adjusted. Just closed. And I know I didn't do that. I stood there staring at her face. There's a difference between a resting expression and intention. Her face didn't look peaceful. It looked composed. That night, I checked the security footage. We have cameras in the prep room. No audio. Just grainy black and white coverage. I scrubbed through the footage. There I was, leaving the room. The door closing behind me. The young woman lying still on the table. Nothing moved for several minutes. Then, the footage flickered. Just for half a second. Static. When the image came back, her head was straight. Her mouth closed. No visible movement. Just changed. I replayed it 5 times. Same thing. No transition. Just one frame to the next. Different. I didn't tell Mr. Holloway about that. Instead, I started paying closer attention. That's when I noticed the pattern. It only happened when I was alone in the building. Never during the day. Never when services were being held. Only during the evening shift. Only after 9 p.m. And it was never dramatic. No sitting up. No snapping limbs. Just small adjustments. Hands folding. Heads turning. Fingers curling inward. Like someone getting comfortable. One night, I decided to test it. We had 3 bodies in cold storage, all awaiting embalming the next morning. I positioned each one carefully. Arms straight. Heads aligned. I even placed a small coin on the edge of one table, something light enough to fall if there was movement. Then I went upstairs to the office. I waited. Around 10:47 p.m., the temperature in the building dropped. Not drastically. Just enough that I noticed. The air felt heavier. I checked the thermostat. Normal. Then I heard it. Not a bang. Not a crash. A soft dragging sound. Like fabric against metal. From the basement. I stayed still. The dragging stopped. Then came a slow, rhythmic tapping. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. It sounded almost thoughtful. I grabbed my phone and opened the camera feed app. The prep room camera was live. The 3 bodies lay still on their tables. The coin hadn't moved. I felt stupid for being nervous. Then the far table, the one closest to the wall, shifted. Not suddenly. Slowly. The body's right arm slid inward. Inches. Like it was adjusting itself. The coin on the middle table fell. Clink. I heard it upstairs through the floor. But on the camera, nothing touched it. I felt something cold crawl up my spine. The arm on the far table continued moving. Until the hand rested flat against the chest. That wasn't muscle relaxation. That wasn't gravity. That was choice. I ran downstairs. I don't know why. Instinct, maybe. The room was silent. Still. The bodies exactly as I'd seen on the camera. Except for one thing. The third table, the one closest to the door. The body's head was turned. Facing the doorway. Facing where I stood. I know for a fact I positioned that head straight. I remember aligning it carefully. Now the eyes, though closed, felt directed at me. I backed out of the room slowly. Locked the door. And spent the rest of my shift upstairs with every light on. The next morning, I told Mr. Holloway I thought something was wrong with the foundation. I didn't mention moving bodies. He just nodded absently. "You'll get used to it," he said. Get used to what? That night, I stayed later than usual. Past midnight. I don't know what I was trying to prove. Maybe I wanted to see it happen without a camera glitch. At 12:32 a.m., the lights in the hallway flickered. Once. Twice. Then steadied. The air felt thick. Like pressure building before a storm. The prep room door creaked open. I hadn't touched it. I hadn't unlocked it. But it was open. Just slightly. I stepped closer. Inside, all 3 bodies were sitting upright. Not fully. Just raised slightly at the torso. Like halfway through sitting up. My breath caught in my throat. They weren't jerking or twitching. They were perfectly still. Except now they were angled. Facing the center of the room. Facing each other. Like they had been in conversation. The one closest to the door tilted further. Until it was facing me. And this time, its eyes were open. Not wide. Not exaggerated. Just open. Calm. Aware. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. And then it spoke. Not with its mouth. Its mouth didn't move. But the voice was in the room. Low. Lead. Not one voice. Many. You shouldn't be here after hours. The other 2 heads turned toward me. In sync. We rearrange ourselves. We remember. We wait. I stumbled backward. Hit the wall. The lights flickered again. When they stabilized, the bodies were lying flat. Exactly how I had originally placed them. Eyes closed. Arms straight. The coin back on the table. Like nothing happened. I quit the next day. Or at least, I tried to. Mr. Holloway listened quietly as I fumbled through an excuse about stress. Then he sighed. "You're not the first." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" He looked at me for a long moment. "They don't like being alone." I felt the blood drain from my face. "They?" I asked. He didn't answer directly. Instead, he said something I haven't been able to forget. "They don't stay still once they realize they're together." I left that day and never went back. But here's the part that keeps me awake. 3 weeks after I quit, I got a call. From Mr. Holloway's number. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. His voice sounded strained. Unsteady. "They've started moving during services," he whispered. "They're sitting up." The message cut off. I tried calling back. The number was disconnected. The funeral home closed 2 days later. No announcement. No explanation. Just boarded windows. I drove past it once. Just to see. The sign was gone. The parking lot empty. But through the second-floor window, I saw movement. A silhouette. Standing still. Watching. And even now, months later, sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night, I feel my arms crossed over my chest. Folded neatly. Like someone positioned them while I was sleeping. And sometimes, I swear I wake up slightly sitting up. Like I'm adjusting. Like I'm getting comfortable. Like I'm not done moving yet. This is Dark Whispers. And some things don't stay still.